Traders, in this watch list, I will outline my top ideas for the upcoming week, as well as go over my entry and exit plans for those ideas. Now, last week was, of course, exceptionally eventful and opportunistic, as I went over in last week's watch list, and I really reviewed it in great detail and at length before and after the trade in Inside Access. DJT was absolutely a plus opportunity last week. And obviously with that sell the news opportunity. Now, if you haven't already done so, I really do urge you to review that opportunity in detail, along with the thoughts that I shared before the event and the trade playing out. Now, here's also a helpful tip. Review the chart for July 15 in DJT and compare that to the sell the news event from November 6. History often repeats itself. And that might prove to be a fruitful exercise for you and an important really takeaway from this going forward for potentially similar scenarios. All right, now let's get right into this week's ideas. And on that note, I guess we can start off with DJT. Now, DJT for me is absolutely going to be hands-off unless we get an outlier move to key areas of either resistance or support in the short term. But like I said, I'll be hands-off focusing on better opportunities, but definitely worth a mention here and going over some quick thoughts, given obviously how really fruitful and opportunistic this has been in recent weeks. Now, once the volume dies down, for me, with that being said, it's important not to always go back to the well. The only scenario or scenarios that would interest me in DJT again going forward would be any push toward potential supply and failed follow through. That would be in the area and region of 35 towards 40, which in the short term would be a major area of supply and potential failure zone going forward, using key areas of failure and resistance from the previous week. Similar to that, any major gap down and quick wash in the low 20s would interest me from a risk reward standpoint to a quick relief bounce, or along if we got any quick fail and follow through into the low 20s just for a short-term intraday relief bounce. Whereas if we got a push towards 35 to 40, I'd really be more interested within this zone to look for a potential short swing. But like I said, hands off going forward, as I believe the risk reward is now certainly diminished in that name and no longer skewed, and the edge has also subsided. But definitely worth a mention, like I said, just given the immense opportunity that it's offered recently. Now, continuation in XBI, this is an idea that I'm quite excited about. I've gone over my thoughts extensively on the sector and my outlook in Inside Access before, so I'm certainly not going to be doing that again in detail. But what I like most about the setup, really briefly to explain, is really, in the short term going forward, I really like how it's been able to actually push over 102 previous resistance where we failed on multiple attempts in previous months. We've actually been able to hold for several days now, turning that area into newfound support. And this clearly shows me that buyers are stepping up, and it gives me the confidence now to look for a long swing continuation. You'll remember from months ago, attempting a breakout, and obviously we failed. Thereafter, I said I'd really only attempt XBI long again if we're able to spend days above resistance, turning it into support. We have that now, at least in the short term we do, and so I'm going to be looking for a long swing and continuation. I also like how on the weekly chart, we're breaking out a significant area, kind of a cup and handle pattern. It bears major similarities, obviously, to the continuation and the breakout we've had in the IWM, very similar chart on the weekly time frame. And so looking for some follow through in XBI as well, a lagger to maybe in a short term into the end of year, turning into a leader. So I'm looking to buy higher lows or a dip essentially down towards the 103 region, 103.50 zone going forward. On an hourly time frame, I'd love to see a higher low and a dip and then reclaim multi-day VWAP. But my stop is going to be fairly tight at 102, and the reason why is because I wouldn't want to see this ETF after breaking out above resistance. I wouldn't want us to see price get back into that range. That for me would then obviously represent a failed breakout and potentially a failed move higher, trapped, and a fast move lower. So I'm going to be having a close eye around that 102 region once I enter. I wouldn't like to see the stock re-enter the range and hold below that area. I'm going to be looking to trail my position using the previous day's low and systematically looking to exit patiently using ATRs to the upside. This is going to be a potential week plus position. Next up, we've got Tesla and as well as Palantir, have them on the same list. And essentially, it's for an intraday reversion in Tesla and Palantir. Now, I'm certainly not going to be looking for a swing here on the short side. I'm not looking for a top. As I've said before, long term, I'm bullish on both companies, especially Tesla. But there's no denying in the short term that both are stretched to the upside and really highly susceptible to a pullback, given how stretched they are to the upside in the short term. All right, so that likely also now has diminished the risk reward for the momentum longs just in the immediate term, in the short term. So what I'm looking for here, essentially, as is the case with reversion opportunities, rule number one: do not fight the front side. All right, do not fight the front side. There's no need for that. Don't try attempt short simply because I believe that the stock is up too much in a short period of time. That's not a trade plan. You can't short that. Instead, in Tesla and Palantir, instead waiting for confirmation. All right, relative weakness, a change of character. Before getting involved. So I'm not going to look for a swing, as I mentioned, just an intraday pullback. And specifically as it relates to both names, be it Tesla or be it Palantir, I'm going to be looking for entry setups similar to the ones we've gone over recently in Inside Access. So for example, first red day or an intraday blow-off setup in order to get short. So I'll give you an example. For a first red day, if the stock opens up red, fails to reclaim green, displays a notable shift in character, relative weakness to its sector and market, those are all checks in its favor. And in that case, I would then look for a short on a lower high, or a VWAP fail, or a consolidation breakdown, or a failed green to red move, and short versus the high of day. Now, in a situation like that, just for that first red day setup, there are a number of setups I could take to express this intraday reversion. I would target an ATR down move in order to exit my position on a higher low, or exit my position on a VWAP reclaim intradays. But essentially, ultimate target would be targeting an ATR down move. Now, two brief names for side watches for the upcoming week, just additional watches. First one is going to be FOXO, very impressive volume, very impressive failed follow through on Friday. And going forward, I'm just going to have some alerts set really 70, 80, 90 cents for potential really redo a Friday on a lower high and failed follow through short. Alternatively, if we do reclaim 80, 90s, potential liquidity trap, short trap, then I'd be looking for a potential long breakout over 90 and 1. With that being said as well, the volume in small caps have been immense. They've been really quite impressive since the election, obviously, given the breakout in IWM. So I'm really going to be focusing significant more attention on small caps given the widening range, as well as exceptional liquidity. And then last one on my list for the upcoming week is Snapchat, SNAP. And really straightforward here, consolidating with its 200-day acting as resistance, and I'm just looking for a breakout above that 200-day, above that 1250 zone of resistance, in which case with elevated R vol, I would look to be long versus the low of day. So just alert set there for a straightforward breakout to see if we can get that shift in momentum above its 200-day. That's everything I have on this week's watch list. Bit of a change of pace to last week and the prior week as we were approaching the, critical event and catalyst of the election. Now that that's out the way, we have momentum to the upside, certainly back to a directional long swing focused mindset, as well as some isolated intraday opportunities offering expectancy and great skewed risk reward. So the adjustments have been made. Let me know what adjustments you've made, and let me know what stocks you have on your watch list for the upcoming week, as well as your plans and thoughts as well, if you'd like to share that. I really enjoy reading through all of your comments, and I appreciate the positive feedback and comments. I wish you all a great week, a successful week, and I'll see you all next week.
So you're an active trader, not doing as well as you want, not doing as well as you deserve, and you just can't figure out why you can't become profitable no matter how hard you try. Well, let me show you why. This is your competition. The traders in this room. This room right here is full of elite traders. Some of them are making 7 and even 8 figures a year. In fact, our top guys have made nearly 20 million each in net trading profits in a single year. Let's head to my office so I can share more. So you're probably used to seeing videos of lavish trader lifestyles, trading gurus trading off of a laptop for an hour a day, heck, maybe even 15 minutes a day. and then them relaxing on some secluded beach for the rest of the day. Well, all I can tell you is that our traders train like pro athletes. They live and breathe the markets and are continually working on their trading skills. Because at our firm, that's what we found it really takes to make it in this game. I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder and managing partner of SMB Capital, one of the world's top proprietary trading firms located in Midtown Manhattan. And we're always looking for trading talent to hire and develop. And not just to trade in-house on our desk, but also to trade from their own home, entirely using our firm's capital. And we have numerous traders doing just that, allowing them to make upwards of 7 figures trading the firm's capital without risking their own money. But to even get a shot at something like that, you need to have the right training. That's why we're doing a new free online presentation in which we share how you can get an interview with SMB to become an in-house or remote trader, trading firm capital without risking yours and gaining access to all of our firm's coaching and resources. And the best part, you don't have to be a profitable trader yet. In fact, we prefer to mold profitable traders with our methods and our techniques. That's why we have just 3 simple criteria that can earn anyone an interview. We're looking for highly ambitious and determined traders who fit our culture first and foremost. So if you believe that could be you, sign up for the free 1-hour online presentation by clicking the link that's in your top right corner of your screen now.